JJK wants so badly to be a plot-driven story. Like, it's honestly really cute that it tries, but it never fully commits to the idea of an overwhelming force pushing our cast left and right. It wants to execute emotionally resonant plot beats, while ignoring the character work that needs to be there to allow these moments to flourish.
The introduction of extraterrestrials. It tarnished what was otherwise a semi-decent but crowded war arc in Naruto. It made Darling in the Franxx undoubtedly sillier. It took a generation of meat-headed Gen Zers to make it cool and foreshadow the Hedgehog. Not only is the introduction of aliens so random, and by the end, not even seamlessly assimilated into Jujutsu Kaisen's world either, the idea of aliens at all just doesn't work in a story like Jujutsu Kaisen. A human story about human destiny, human clan culture, human death, literal human emotions manifesting themselves into our human arch nemesis, human questions about what makes us human. What is the point of introducing extraterrestrials in a story like JJK? For a thinly veiled immigration allegory? Another human issue? Or maybe it's the callback to humanitarian conflicts. You realize human is in the word you just said, right? And this is ignoring the fact that it comes seemingly out of nowhere and implies so many weird things about the world building it's not even worth getting into. The fact that everyone was just so willing to look past aliens being in the series is such a crazy thing to me. It single-handedly made me lose respect for so many of my peers. So what if the series was good? If the writing improved? If the art is better? Or even if the story was well-meaning? It will always be the sequel that went, hey, you know that culling games that's currently happening in the anime for the same franchise? Well, while that's all happening, somewhere in the land far, far away, Luke Skywalker is drinking titty milk from creatures that just so happen to look like Sukuna. But the writing is so good, you don't even have to think about it that much. Oh wait, the writing isn't that good either! It bears repeating that Gege Akutami is not woke. He dodges the complexities of issues like our president dodges bullets, impeachment, and criminal charges, meaning he lightly grazes them. But you know what? Even if he was woke, you know what I mean? Like, let's entertain him being the only shonen battle mangaka inspired by Bleach to have politics that could uproot the South and push away narratives that oppress the little guy. Even then, at every turn, he is totally incapable of giving these topics the attention it deserves. Why further topics such as clan politics still getting in the way of familial relationships, cursed techniques still being ostracized by those same clans, confirmed dreams of characters being ravaged by treaties, strained foreign affairs, a whole ass allegory for international trade systems, and literal wars raged over differing religious practices, which is actually a front for upperclassmen who decide the laws of the land concerning themselves over another nation's minerals. Why give any of these issues the time and attention they deserve when we can just bring back Big Raga, baby? And because of that, half of the things I just listed, which were systemic issues in the first series, are never resolved, making it so sorcerers still have to suffer, demean themselves, and be cogs for almost, 7-8 decades, mostly as an excuse to make JJK's signature spectacle possible in this sequel series. I mean, didn't I say in the previous video that Yuji's ending wasn't happy whatsoever? He may try to reform the meaning of the word cog, but in my eyes, being a cog can have nothing but a negative connotation. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If you seriously believed that the self-dehumanizing Yuji Itadori, calling himself a cog during the series' finale, believing that being a cog, a literal object that is meant to perpetuate the same systems that are an allegory for the homogenous, unethical, and oppressive Japanese work culture, could somehow be a good thing and not a sign that 200 chapters later, the main character still hasn't realized any valid individuality, then say it with me. That is utter woke nonsense! Liberal. And the poster child of that is walking around saying something like, doesn't matter. Means guess what? It means Gojo failed! But I guess it's all fine now, because Maru must have collected the Space Dragon Balls and wished cursed energy away. Not like Gege is adverse to off-screening something like that. in my opinion, at the end of the day, he's a meathead. Not one that doesn't think, but one that uses his thinking to come up with the coolest fights imaginable. And even then, a nonsensical or terribly explained power system with seeming ass pulls are nothing new for him. Like sure, let the alien discover Earth curse techniques on a dime. Let Rika's already convoluted abilities allow for a gem fusion.
No, we just needed a reason to fuse.
Let Maru's abilities do whatever the hell they want. Let the afterlife be a tangible battlefield and a conduit for whatever the hell harmony is. Gege Akutami was already bad at juggling both theme and spectacle, and now, during Jujutsu Kaisen's initial finale and its sequel series, we have culminated in him being terrible at both, which is what I've always believed, but, you know, now it's more obvious, I guess. And honestly, I'm conflicted. Because on the one hand, JJK's world isn't like MHA's world, where your class and your rank determines your wage, childhood, job. Obviously, when it comes to clans and the idea of strength and even being a Jujutsu sorcerer, yes, your personhood can very well be marginalized. But discrimination isn't the whole package, because it's not like sorcerers are a species, they're magic police. And police corruption isn't dealt with by handicapping the entire force, dumbass. Getting rid of the magic system because the magic system created systemic issues and not just dealing with the systemic issues is such a boring answer, especially since it only seems to be affecting the next generation. Yuji, Nobara, Panda, Yuta's grandkids, maybe even the aliens, they still got shit to do. But then again, the question of what to do with cursed energy has been a prevalent mystery for the entire series. But I mean, like, surely there could have been a more creative way to deal with the birth of cursed spirits and leakage of cursed energy than just aliens, Gege. However, with how messy JJK's world building is and power system is, the stars and stripes are Jesus Christ of JJK, literally descending unto Earth and fixing everything was really the only solution. Basically, what I'm saying is Gege rolled himself into a corner. And this is why I just wanted him to leave this series alone. JJK is genuinely so broken. As stated before, it touches on so many topics but never actually commits to exploring them, meaning a lot of the world building and character arcs at the end of the series were unfulfilling and thematically pretty empty. The series, and especially its fans, tried covering for this, prettying up the scenery with its vast symbolism and engaging brawls, and while I would love to say we didn't fall for it, a lot of people did, especially when the anime is concerned. But for me, there was no plotline, theme, callback, no character that could have been fixed after it was all said and done. Like, it's over. Let's just move on. As a critic, you should want an artist to improve. Sure, some of their work may not be to your liking, but art itself has the right to exist and has the right to be worked through, experimented with, and encouraged to be greater. After all, as someone who's creative myself, I can empathize with an early project of ours falling short due to a lack of experience. However, Gege made one unforgivable mistake that no matter what he did next, always left the very foundation of Modulo in an unclimbable pit in my eyes. Instead of abandoning a broken series and starting anew with improved writing capabilities, his new series was tied to his previous. And it worked for some people. Early discussions of Modulo were very promising. Gege's changed, he's improved. A slower pace, slice of life character moments, in-depth backstories for not only the aliens, but our central siblings, as well as greater focus on politics with palpable social commentary. I mean, he's forsaking his artistic abilities to focus on writing for Pete's sake. A lot of people were led to believe that because of these reasons, Modulo would be an improvement on Jujutsu Kaisen's formula. But don't be fooled by a seeming change of writing quality. This is still the same old Gege, the same old Jujutsu Kaisen, the same old horseshit. His avatar should really be a dog instead of a one-eyed cat, because he seemingly can't learn any new tricks.